real deposits are going to be extremely valuable, and just find early the real deposit and do your due diligence, and if there's a fatal flaw, which usually there is.
Hello there, my friends. Chris Marcus here with you for the StockPulse Network, and fortunately we have Mr. Brent Cook stop by from Exploration Insights. We are here at the Gold and Silver Summit in San Francisco, so who better to break some of these things down for us. A lot of interesting times in the gold and silver market right now, and appreciate you stopping by to share your insight, and if you can share what you're seeing going on in the markets and what we should be watching out for.
No, sure, always glad to do anything that Rob's got involved in. It's sucked for a number of years, but we seem to be bouncing off bottom. There's more interest. I think as money moves out of the big markets, the tech sector and the Dow and such, it's going to start looking at an underowned, undervalued asset class, which is precious metals.
Right. And certainly with interest rates rising, this indicates some possibility that a lot of that money could be moving out of real estate and stocks, and perhaps is why there's some renewed interest in gold and silver, which again, if we're going for the buy low and sell high, certainly seems like there's a lot of opportunity and interesting folks here at the conference today that are doing some good projects.
Yeah, I mean, historically, interest rate increases are not good for gold.
Right.
But I think it's going to be different this time because of everything else that's going on in the world politically. Right. I mean, you got Brazil with a fascist going to win. We got Trump, another near fascist. We've got what happening in Italy. So the global environment is getting scary, and the fear index is really high. So I think that will drive people into the gold sector. And what I think is really important is that discoveries are now being recognized by the market and by major mining companies.
Yeah, and I appreciate you mentioning how typically when we hear interest rates going up is not something that would draw people into gold and silver yet. With, like you point out, how so many things are fragile, and you wonder how much of a higher rate the market can handle. Again, I think that's why people are looking for alternatives. And what have you seen, whether it's been the folks you've talked with today or in recent months, where are the opportunities that you're looking at in particular investors might be well served to pay attention to right now?
Well, what Joe and I are focused on in Exploration Insights, which is our newsletter basically documenting what we're buying and selling and thinking in the market, I'm convinced that discoveries is the place to be. I want to be early into a project, a company, pre-discovery that people recognize. Ideally, I'd like to be there when it's formed, the concept, and they've got enough geophysics or soil sampling, whatever, to document that, yes, there may be that, whatever type of deposit is, could be there. That's where I want to be. And certainly if they pull a drill hole that verifies that, we'll double down. That's the place to be right now.
Right. And as you're out there searching for those, a lot of folks here have talked about really starting with the management team. What are some of the variables that you look at that really things people should be paying attention for, so they make sure they end up finding projects that are suiting what they're looking for rather than veering a little too far off course?
Certainly management. I mean, you want honest, competent people that are both technically able to understand what they're looking for and recognize if they're finding it or not, and financially competent, because you've always got to raise money in this to do the exploration. Right. So that's easy. I think really, from my perspective, and the hardest thing for most investors to get is the tons and grade, the geology of this thing. What does this company, let's say they're looking for a porphyry copper in British Columbia. What tons and grade makes it good enough for a major like Rio Tinto to come in and buy it?
Right.
And so you've got to have those numbers in the back of your head. Like, what's the CapEx going to be? What's the OpEx going to be? What's the infrastructure look like? Those sorts of things. If you got those in the back of your head, then you can evaluate drill results in a way that says, yes, this is working, or no, it's not.
Right. And are there any particular areas or regions that you've been focusing on right now?
We're pretty much all over the world. We own companies in Nevada, Mexico, Canada, Nicaragua, Chile, Argentina, West Africa, not a country, but over there in that area, Serbia. So we're all over the place, Australia.
Right. Okay, and kind of in wrapping up, for the folks, a lot of people who've been into gold and silver have seen the price sit there and really has been testing their patience. Any advice you would give to investors that maybe they're not considering but really could take heed of and could lead to success in these markets, which are a challenging environment, yet folks like you helping to guide them through it? Any particular thoughts you'd have for folks?
I think probably the one thing that people need to keep in the back of their mind is that we are not finding, the industry as a whole is not finding enough economic deposits, enough gold, silver,
right,
etc., to replace what we're mining. And the major companies are waking up to that fact right now, and they're going to be out there buying the ones that are economic. So if you just understand that real deposits are going to be extremely valuable, and just find early the real deposit and do your due diligence, and if there's a fatal flaw, which usually there is, recognize that. We've made a lot of money recognizing the fatal flaw ahead of everybody else on a project that eventually tanked. So I think keep that in the back of your mind.
Because especially in the mining business, people can be excited about what may happen to the price of gold and silver if they're not actually out there finding it. Makes a big difference, which why, again, it's great that you joined us today. And if you could just let folks know where they can find you, so if they would like some assistance in tracking these markets, they know how to find you.
Sure, our newsletter is a weekly edition. Joe and I put it out. explorationinsights.com is the website. There's a lot of free information there, and we communicate with our subscribers and that. And once, if you're interested, you can sign up for a month. You see everything we've ever written, everything we've ever bought and sold. And if it doesn't suit you after a month, you can quit.
Which I think is a great offer for folks. Obviously, Brent has a great track record, which you can see for free, and appreciate you providing that resource and joining us here today. Best of luck with everything going forward.
Thanks,
we'll
Chris.
See you again soon. Thanks, Brent.